Horary astrology is one of the four main branches of traditional astrology. Traditional astrology is the astrology practiced in Europe between 1200 and 1700, and it focuses on the accurate prediction of concrete events. Horary means of the hour, and horary astrology uses the astrological chart of the asking of a question rather than the chart of a birth of a person to make its predictions. Because a birth chart is the same for a person, whether they are 3 or 90 years old, the patterns it reveals must be broad and flexible. A horary chart, on the other hand, focuses on a particular question and is thus able to give a much more focused and precise prediction. Each type of astrology is useful for a different purpose. Natal astrology, looking at birth charts, is like a wide-angle lens or a floodlight, giving a look at lifelong patterns. Horary astrology is like a laser beam or microscope, giving a very narrow but very focused look at a particular question. Even using various natal astrology techniques like transits, progressions, primary directions, solar returns, or revolutions cannot provide predictions with the precision and accuracy of traditional horary astrology. While horary astrology seems somewhat strange, it operates on the same basic principles as a natal or birth chart astrology that most people are familiar with. Some astrologers insist that there is a scientific, that is to say, a material or energetic cause for astrology like sunspots, magnetism, or gravity. This is demonstrably false. The true basis for all types of astrology is the spiritual connection of all things in the cosmos. The cycles of the heavens reflect the cycles on Earth, because everything that happens in a particular moment shares the special quality of that moment. This is particularly true for anything born at a specific moment, because it continues to manifest the qualities of that moment throughout its life. This means that if we can look at the time, date, and place of a person's birth, we can see the nature of the person's entire life. In just the same way, we can look at the cycles of the heavens at the moment of a question and see the answer to that question. What sort of questions can be answered with horary astrology? First, it must be a serious question, a question that matters personally to the one asking. This is because in the Renaissance view, the heavens controlled the passions and emotions, but not the soul, which was free. When we are worried or concerned about something, we are in tune with the heavens, and asking a question at that time gives us an accurate answer. Asking a frivolous question, asking about things that don't concern us personally, or asking to test the astrologer will give inaccurate answers. For example, if the average person asked, "Who will win the election?" the question does not concern them directly, so there's a real risk of an inaccurate answer. If the candidate themselves asked the question, then it would be personal, and the horary question would give an accurate answer. The best questions are those that can be answered yes or no. Will I marry X? Will I get the job I just interviewed for at Y Corp? This type of question is focused and precise, and gives a focused and precise answer. The broader and vaguer the question, the broader and vaguer the answer. What should I do with the rest of my life does not work well as a horary question. Multi-part, or either-or questions also do not work well as horary questions. Should I move to Cleveland works very well. Should I move to LA, Paris, or London will not give a very precise or clear answer. Similarly, should I quit my job, change careers, and move to Detroit has too many variables. What I have found as a horary astrologer is that the whole process of looking at alternatives, considering possibilities, and arriving at a point where the querent, that is the person asking the question, can ask a yes or no question, takes them about 75% of the way to the answer. This sifting process is a very valuable part of the whole process. Sometimes people worry about asking the question at the wrong time. So long as you are concerned about the question, you will be in tune with the planets and the answer will be accurate. However, the querent can adversely affect the accuracy of a horary question by trying to pick times to ask the question, particularly if they start looking at various astrological factors before asking. This is like going through a tarot deck and taking out all of the bad cards before asking a question. By picking a good time to ask a question, you restrain both the options of the heavens to give a negative answer and their ability to give an accurate answer. Our traditional sources, in particular the famous English horary astrologer William Lilly in his Christian Astrology, says that the best time to use for a horary question is the time that the astrologer receives and understands the question. As a corollary to this, the best location is that of the astrologer as well. Many querents find this confusing. After all, if it is their question, why not use their location? The reason for this is that the horary question is not really born until it is asked of another person, particularly when it is asked of the astrologer with the intention that it be answered. You may have been worrying about an issue for a long time and thinking about it at many different dates and times, but it isn't really manifested until you communicate and ask the question of the astrologer. What sort of questions can be asked using horary astrology? Almost any concrete question can be answered. Relationship questions are very popular. Will I marry X? Will I have a romantic relationship with X? Will I get back with X? What will happen with our relationship? Will X and I divorce? Should X and I split up? Job and career questions are also popular. Will I get the job at Y Corp? Should I quit my job? Will I get a new job? Should I switch to a new career and why? Other typical business questions include, will this business be profitable and should I go into partnership with Z? I also get lots of questions about buying and selling houses and moving. Will our house sell in 6 months? will X buy our house? Should I buy the house on Main Street? While these topics are popular, you can ask Horary questions on almost any concrete topic, including money, brothers and sisters, family, moving to a new location, children, health and illness, enemies, death, spirituality, religion, higher education, exams, travel, career, government, fame, friends, secret enemies, and even am I cursed? Let me give an example of a Horary question chart and analysis done using the methods of William Lilly, the greatest of traditional Horary astrologers, as laid out in his Christian Astrology, published in 1647. This is the analysis as given to the client in advance. They had interviewed for a job and wanted to know if they would get it. The time the question was received and understood by me was 7:55 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on August 25, 2007. The place where the question was received and understood was my location, Washington, D.C. As Pisces rises, the querent, the person asking the question, was signified by Jupiter, because in traditional astrology Jupiter rules Pisces. Jupiter is well dignified by sign, but slow. Jupiter is widely conjunct the 10th house cusp. The benefic North Node is conjunct the ascendant. The moon, who signifies action, has just gone out of detriment and is peregrine in the 12th house. The 10th house of the employer job is also ruled by Jupiter, because Sagittarius is on the cusp of the 10th house, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius. The moon applies to sextile Jupiter, the significator of the querent and the job significator. The sun applies to square Jupiter. This is an interesting and generally positive chart. The querent is signified by Jupiter, the greater benefic, who is well dignified by sign if a bit slow moving. This is a good start. The benefic North Node is conjunct the ascendant, which further assists the querent. The moon, who had just been in detriment, is now peregrine, showing a very recent improvement in the querent's favor of the flow of events. Plus, the moon applies to sextile Jupiter, the querent significator. Now, Jupiter also signifies the job employer, which shows that it's a good job, because Jupiter is dignified. Having the same ruler as the querent ties the querent together with the job. Not only that, but Jupiter is conjunct the 10th house of the job, also connecting the querent and the job. Now, with Jupiter in the 10th, this does indicate that the querent does have to go out and work for the job. Go and get it. The only negative indication is that the sun squares Jupiter. This could show some obstacle, in general, or because the sun rules people in authority, some problems with management, perhaps with current management, which were mentioned by the querent. Otherwise, we have a positive chart. We have multiple positive indications. The chart is giving us a yes answer to the question. It looks likely that the querent will be offered the position, which looks like a good one. The result was, within a short time, the querent was indeed offered the job, which did turn out to be a good job. Through Horary astrology, we can make practical use of the spiritual sympathy of all things in the cosmos. By reading the cycles in the heaven, we can obtain precise, accurate predictions of events on Earth.